Hi, this is Lisa with Queen Bee Creations, and I'm here with today's live stream, and we're going to do a fun class and learn how to make a box. And it's not even just any box, it's a hexagon. And I know you're thinking that's going to be hard. I promise you it's not. We're going to break this down into easy, simple steps, and you're going to be able to do it, I promise. My name is Lisa. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I go by Queen Bee Creations. I thank you for joining me. I love my job, and I get to do the best thing ever and teach you guys how to do stamping stress-free. So those of you who are my customers should be getting your catalogs. I've gotten quite a few emails, people saying they're arriving in the mail. So one did get lost already. So if you have not gotten your catalog yet, let me know. If you've purchased within the last year, I've sent them out. You should be getting them like any day. Those come for free just for being one of my customers. You also get for free a PDF tutorial, and I apologize, I was a little late on sending out the ones for March. I don't know where time got away from me, but I did send those last night. So if you placed an order in March, your customer appreciation PDF should have showed up in your email box this weekend, as well as the one for those who have ordered so far in April. I went ahead and sent those out too. So that's another bonus for ordering through me, is you get more free tutorials. I love to just teach you guys how to do lots of fun stuff. So welcome, Dawn, Janet. Getting excited about our retreat yet? Less than a month left. So exciting. Okay, like I said, this is the little box we're making. It's a little hexagon. And I'm going to put you down onto my desk so you can see that. And here we are. So this is what I'm starting out with. And I wanted to just break it down easy. We're just starting out with a piece of paper, or this piece of cardstock. This is actually in our new color, Orchid Oasis. And this piece is 4 1/4 by 9 1/2. On the short side, I scored that at 1 1/2 and 2 1/2. Then I spun it 90 degrees. And this way scored it at 1 1/2, 3, 4 1/2, 6, 7 1/2, and 9. So it's basically every 1 1/2 inches all the way along. So each side will be 1 1/2 inches. And that means that our designer series paper is going to be 1 1/4. So I took my designer series paper and I cut it into 1 1/4 inch strips. Then the ones on the bottom are going to be 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. That's just going to give us our, roundabout frame. The middle, because this is 1 inch tall to accommodate our little tins, these are what we're going to put into it. I found these at the dollar store, and I've had them quite a while and was not sure what to do with them. And I think I finally figured it out. We're doing this box. So these pieces, like I said, 1 1/4 by 1 1/4, 1 1/4 by 3/4, and then the top is 1 1/4 by 1 1/2. I made the top a little bit longer because it's going to have a little closure. I found a pattern online. I was looking for something that would hold a round tin, and I found the pattern for this. It was way too big. But I did kind of take her idea and pare it down for a smaller size. Hi, thank you for joining us. Make sure you put in #Prize Patrol. Hopefully we're going to get through today with no technical difficulties. So there's 6 of each one. So there's 6 for the bottom, 6 for the middle, and there's 6 for the bottom, but I shortened one by 1/4 inch. So this one is 1 1/4 by 1 1/4, and I'll explain that when we get to it because it's going to be the part of the closure. So this part, we just want to go ahead and burnish our score lines. And this is easier to do before we do the cutting. It also helps us in the cutting because it gives us more of a valley that we know we are cutting into. Because we want all of these little things to be flaps. So I'm going to take and cut down each one of these on the top and on the bottom, leaving the middle whole. But on the top and the bottom, I want flaps. So I'm going to take some paper snips. And I'm just going to give a slight bit of an angle to this end piece, because this part I'm cutting off, this is what's going to help us hook it together. So this is what makes it the circle, is this little flap. And like I said, just straight up these. And I apologize, I didn't get the measurements up earlier. I had the choice of getting the measurements listed up there or doing the card for next week's live. And I went ahead and did the card for next week's live. So I do have that to show you at the end. And as soon as we are done here, I will go back and add these measurements to the description of this video, both on YouTube and on Facebook. Okay, so just flaps at this point. So nothing hard yet, right? Still fairly simple. Okay, now I'm going to fold this just like this. I'm just going to make it flat. That's always been my best bet for making sure that this connection is where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to take some tear and tape. And I would suggest tear and tape or Seal Plus, because it gets a lot of movement and you want to make sure it doesn't fall apart. If you're one of those that worries that it's not going to be in the right spot and you want some wiggle room, then you want to use your liquid glue. But remember that you give it, a couple seconds to grab on so it doesn't shift on you. But see, now that I've got that connected, it's going to be flat all the way around. So that's how I know that my sides are all square. Now, there's a long side and a short side. So the long side I want to be my top, and the short side I want to be my bottom. And we're going to be adhering them to each other, one across from one another. So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on 3. Yeah, that's going to be right. So just 3 of them get adhesive. And then I'm going to take just 1 tab and the one exactly across from it. So I've got 1 tab, skip 2, and I'm going to that one. Now what I want to do is square this up. And this is, again, liquid glue may be your friend, but I like Seal. Okay, so I'm just making sure that I'm good and square, and then I'm letting it grab. So then I'm going to do the same thing to my next one. I'm going to peel off the backing here, and I'm going to make sure I'm square. And then I have 1 left. So we've already got our hexagon. And we could have gone ahead and decorated all the sides while I was able to lay flat. That's an option. I actually forgot. So I'm going to go ahead and put mine on now. Because it actually didn't, I guess we don't need them for the bottom, technically. Ooh, there we go. So these ones were the 1 1/4 by 3/4. Yeah, these are a great little box for putting, M&Ms or some small little candy in them. I think they're designed for spices. I'm not quite sure. It didn't really say. But they were in the craft area. So I guess they could hold, beads or anything crafty as well. But, when we're making little decorative things, we usually like to put chocolate in them. So there's those. Like I said, I forgot to put the bottom ones on. We'll set those aside. Like I said, they're not totally necessary because they do get a little bit buried. I'm going to go ahead and put this short one on. And this one's going to be my tab. This will be for my closure. Anybody do anything super fun for Easter? My kids are all out of state, so we weren't able to see them. But, they're all grown. They're 27 and 31 this year, so they're not so into the Easter baskets. Unless, of course, it was filled with cleaning supplies. And I have seen that done. You take a laundry basket and just fill it with cleaning supplies, and that's their Easter basket. Okay, so now it's all decorated. And it fits our little tin. That's another thing you could have done if you were worried about it holding its shape when you were putting the bottom together. You could have put the tin in it before you adhered the pieces together on the back. Then you would have known for sure that it went in there. Oh, completing projects. That sounds like a wonderful idea. I actually was working on editing photos and making blog posts, so I felt super accomplished after I was all done. Okay, so I'm just going to put this on the bottom. I cut one out for the inside, but because I forgot to put my decoration on the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and cover that up too. And I told you it was going to have a little closure, right? So the closure that we're doing is actually this little tab. And it's going to hook into itself. This piece right here is done with the Label Me Fancy punch. It's right here. So some of you may have this punch and wonder what that's for. Today we get to use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the one that's short because that's going to be my tab. So I'm going to go across from the tab and I'm going to set this in here just until it hits inside, right? I don't want to cut off any of this, if you can see. So I'm going to put it back to where it's just flush. And it looks pretty centered, so I'm going to go ahead and punch. Sorry, that was probably loud on the microphone. Oh, college friends, that would be fun. It's been a long time since college. Okay, so now in order to know where my tab's going to go, I'm going to take a pencil and I'm just going to kind of mark. But it should be, yeah, right at the top. So what I want to do is, I can actually even see the width. If I put this down, I make sure it's square. And I'm going to do the whole width so that I know where to cut this off. Okay, I don't know if you can see my little pencil line there. But that's going to be my tab. And then I'm just going to cut off the two sides. And again, it's pencil. It's going to erase, not a big deal. And then that's how the tab's going to go in. Isn't that cute? So we could be done here. I mean, our box is done. It's closed. It's decorated, all of those things. But I thought I'd give it a little something extra. And so I brought out some dies. And these are from the Rainboots dies. It's a little watering can. It coordinates with the Flowering Rainboots. This is actually the bundle we're going to be using on retreat. So everybody coming to retreat is going to get this bundle. And I'm using the little seed packet as our stamp, which I mounted and then quickly lost. There we go. So there's that one. Okay, I'm just reaching over. I was going to grab the one ink pad, but I thought I'd go ahead and grab all of them because these are our new in colors. These are the colors that are going to be available June of 2022 to May of 2024. So they're good for 2 years. And the other ones are going away. So this Magenta Madness and all the ones that went with that, Cinnamon Cider, Misty Moonlight, all of those are retiring. And these ones are coming in. So bright and shiny colors. But like I said, I'm using Orchid Oasis. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that one. And I'm just going to stamp on the white one. So I want to go this way. I suppose it doesn't matter, but. And then that's going to be my tag. I'm using this mesh ribbon because I really haven't been sure what to do with it. Honestly, it makes a good background. You know, it was great for like spider web or something for Halloween, but I'm not a huge Halloween person. So I thought it would be good for this box because it's kind of transparent. You know, it's not going to take away from our design. And I can just go ahead and tie it in a knot, and it's going to give it a little something extra, but not be too much, if you know what I mean. It's not distracting from our cute little box. And I don't even have to tie it in a bow. I can just leave it like that. And then to put on the tags, they have this little handle here. This is why I chose this one. Is now I can take a little bit of our standard baker's twine. And I can run that through here. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a little knot so that the two stay together somewhat. Then I can just go under my knot. And do a little bow. And you want to leave the strings really long. It's always better to cut off excess than to try to make a bow with strings that are way too short. Normally I would use my bow maker tool, but because we're going around a box, that doesn't work. So my next best thing is really long ends so that you can mess with them until you get it to where you want it. See, I'm not good with bows. The bow maker tool is fabulous. Me with bows alone, not so good. So anyway, once I have that done, I can just trim off this excess that I don't want of the twine. But there we go. What a cute little gift, right? Who's going to give this a try? And who thinks it's too hard? Because when you break it down, I mean, it looks hard staring at it before you see the directions, but now that it's together and you saw how I did it, it's not really that hard, right? Next week, I promised I would show you what we're doing for next week. I'm going to work with another thing that I've been told was a little bit hard to work with, and that is our daffodil dies. Sorry, I have them kind of as a mess over here because I was laying them out to try to figure out how they go together. They don't come with directions, which I think is kind of silly, but you know, whatever. I guess that's what I'm here for, is to show you how these work. And so there's all these little pieces that are going to cut out small, and everybody asks me, what's this for? That's the body to the butterfly. You know how normally there's a black something up the middle of a butterfly? That's what this is. So you would put it in between the two. So a little bit sticks out the bottom and a little bit sticks out the top with these dies. We've got some greenery. We've got some solids, and each solid has a detail that's going to go over it. So there's this one, goes with this one, and I'm going to make up a chart. Have you guys downloaded the chart that I made for, which one was it? Gosh, it wasn't the pansies. I should do one for the pansies, but oh, tulips, the tulip builder dies. I did a great little graphic for that showing how they go together. And so I'm going to do one for these as well. But basically we're going to cut out with this shape and then with that one. So there's a solid and a detail, and they all match up. And they go together and make for a beautiful card. So I did this one in pale papaya, and I did them both the same color. And they're okay. I think if I do this again, I may either sponge on the bottom one or make them, you know, maybe Daffodil Delight and Crushed Curry just a little bit off so that they maybe pop a little bit more. And I think I would probably dry emboss the back. But this was my first ever try with these dies, and so I'm kind of happy with how it came out. And I have a little surprise in here. Have you guys noticed? Did you see this back here? How fun is that, right? This is actually a new die. It didn't come in the set with the daffodils. It came in a new set that's in our new annual catalog. And it's a great set of dies. And this is just one of many that I was just dying to play with. And I just thought it worked great on this card. I'm usually pretty bad at doing the offset thing, but I was happy with how this came out. But again, don't let all of this mess confuse you, because I am going to break it all down for you and make it easy. So has everybody got hashtag Prize Patrol in there? Because I'm ready to spin. I do this at the end of my broadcast. And again, this one was really quick. I didn't think I'd have to do something extra, but we got this done in less than half an hour. So how easy is that, right? I promised you it was an easy box. So hashtag Prize Patrol. I have 6 people who have entered it so far. And I'm going to go ahead and share that. So here is our other screen. Oh, 10. Good. That's exciting. So this will be different. I'll have to send this off in the mail, maybe flat. And then you can glue it together at the other end, because it would be kind of strange to mail. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. 11. Way to go. Okay, so when we're done, hang out, because I'm going to want you to fill out a claim form. so that I have your address and I can mail you your prize. So there we go. Linda is our winner. So congratulations, Linda. Like I said, there is a claim form, if I can get my cursor back here, over on my blog. So go to queenbeecreations.net/prize patrol, and it'll give you a form that'll ask you for your address, and go ahead and pop that in there. And I will send you one of these. Maybe you can shoot me a message and say whether or not you're comfortable putting it together if I send it flat. But that's your prize, is the little thing we did today. And come back next week for our daffodil card. I set it down and lost it. I'm sure you guys can see it. I can't. So we will be back next week playing with the daffodil dies. I will have a chart for you and a fun new card. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you next Monday at 2:30 right here on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining me. Bye.